Welcome to BTS Pains FF's disclaimer. This is a complete work of fan fiction. Jimin one mumbles incoherently with her shaky lips, but he didn't respond, and that's when her eyes went to his earbuds. As she took a sharp breath, she never felt herself so helpless like this moment. She calls him again, but still he didn't respond. Jimin, on the other hand, held his phone more tightly. Something twisted in his heart, hearing her vulnerable and helpless plead, but he pretends as if he was not listening anything. That's the only thing he can do for both of them right now. As much as she was his sister, he was his best friend as well, and they both need to confront and end this closure as soon as possible. Well, please stop tensing yourself and listen to me calmly. I promise I can explain everything. His voice was way calmer than before. Explain what? How you put ring in someone else's finger after making me pregnant, or how you make a fool of me and left me vulnerable, or was it something else? His eyes turned more darkened while he grit his teeth, but take few deep breaths to calm his nerves. This was not the time to act rational, and he needed to be a bit more patient with her. You didn't tell me you're pregnant when we said it. I can explain everything. Please listen to me calmly. Anger built up in her body after making fun of her in each and every way. He was acting as if he was the one who faced everything, not her. I don't know how you found me, and that's not even my concern. So I'm telling you this last time. I don't want to talk with you about anything, Jungkook. So get out from my house before I lose my temper and forget we were ever in some kind of relationship. She spected each word in hatred, fierceness clearly indicated in her eyes. She has never talked with him like this, nor raised her voice, not just him, but anyone. He knew her from years now, and she was the softest person ever, and knowing she had raised her voice for him, it really twisted something inside him badly. Sunshine, please. We really need to talk, baby. His voice sounds way vulnerable. When just stir him for a good few seconds. I'm not in the right state of mind right now, Jungkook. My mind is not even able to process you're here and listening wherever you want to talk about. I'm not just ready to hurt, not physically or mentally, so better suggest you to leave. I think it would be better for both of us. This time she spoke politely in much conversational tone. But I won't leave till I explain myself when grits are teeth, and I'll wait for you till you're willingly ready to listen. With that saying, he left from there and went almost stumbled down on the floor. Jimin almost got up but sat down again, thinking she needed to be strong for herself. Almost 12 hours passed and it was midnight, but Jungkook was still outside. Sophia was outside to fetch groceries and Wine had already tell her everything happened earlier. Her first reaction was to tell everything to Jimin, but it scared her more. She knew they both will end up in a huge fight and who knows what would happen worse. Wine is raining outside. Wine who was staring outside, her eyes on a burger person, but she didn't have courage to confront him or either tell him to get inside house. He was the most stubborn person she ever knew, and she knew he will not leave easily. When grits her teeth, being pissed and frustrated. So what? Her tone was harsh, but deep down she was worried for him, even now after he did everything. What do you mean by that? He might, in call, she cleared her angrily and when her twisted in unknown emotion. She was pretending as if she don't care, but the reality was different. She was worried for him. Why is he pretending as if he's the most precious soul? When we both know he's the one who betrayed me, one hissed. I know when I can understand you, but he won't leave unless he talk with you. I don't know why, but he seems sincere when he talked with me earlier when I came back from groceries. When chuckles in mockery. That's where you're wrong. It's just his charm. He knows how to manipulate everyone. If you are this sure that he's wrong, then why don't you confront him and talk with him face to face? It's one a night. If it's true they're sucking in rain for a little longer, who knows what will happen? Please talk with him, okay? This is my request. Just talk with him or hear what you want to say. If don't, then at least tell him to leave or he can sit in the car at least. Trust me, no man can do something like this for someone unless they really care. Please go. One stared her for a few seconds, her eyes glossy as she thinks something and silently nods. One came out with the umbrella in her hand. Her body shivers with a sudden wave of cold, and that literally makes her most worried, and she immediately went towards Jungkook, who was sitting in a couch now, totally drenched in water and slightly shivering. She bit her lower lip to see him in this condition. Tears started gathering around her eyes, but she encouraged herself to face him bravely. Jungkook, he didn't look up, hearing her voice as she placed umbrella on him as well. Are you really there, or am I hallucinating again? When held umbrella more tightly, she was feeling as if she would collapse any time sooner. You need to leave, Jungkook. Enough of your drama. I told you I won't leave unless I explain myself, when Chocolate's almost in mockery. Okay then, you have 5 minutes to explain. Make it 10. 5 or else I'm leaving. Okay, fine. She said the ring in my finger, and I felt like someone had chained me in my neck, and I can't breathe anymore. She would from my just a few more days, he gritted out angrily. Where's when she looks towards the hallway as if searching her. As she was coming behind me, Jung immediately snapped his face towards his mother. His heart started beating so fast as if ready to escape from his ribcage. His eyes wide in horror and fear. He must have heard something wrong. That's not possible. When who said she is here? He heard himself asking. Yeah, she came earlier. I told her to join us and she was walking with me. I don't know where she went suddenly. No one that's not possible. It's just a bad dream, Jungkook. Jungkook, don't worry. She didn't see you. He mumbled to himself, but his voice seems almost foreign to his own ears. Fear, that was the only thing he was feeling right now. He looked towards the evil woman sitting beside him, smiling, and her evil father sitting opposite to them. As he clutched his jaw, they messed up with the wrong person, and they don't know yet who they actually crossed their path through. I'll make their 7 generations regret to even born at first place. He grits out, standing up without caring of anyone questionable looks and reactions. He was so done with this game, and it was more than enough for them to play upper hand, and especially if something happens to his woman, there was no mercy for anyone. He called Wan multiple times, but she was not replying. Went to her house and every single place where he can found her, but still there was no sign of her. And with each passing second, it was frustrating him as much. He was worried, and moreover, she was not even attending his calls. And please wake up, baby. You're worrying me to core. The sudden call startled him, and it was from his hacking team, so he attended immediately. Sir, we have phone maps location. It's at XX please. Jungkook eyes widened as he immediately turned his car to other side. But when he reached there was no one. He got to know after watching CCTV footage. She was really there earlier, but no one was there now, as he grit his teeth in anger. Search whole country. I want her in front of my eyes for the next 12 hours, he growled. The popping of his veins was clear evidence of his extreme anger. He was like a walking lava who could explode any time soon at this point, because he was losing his temper by now. She was not any other woman but his woman. She didn't know about his restlessness, but he was still the same beast, discussed as human. A day passed, when was nowhere to found. He literally bragged to her parents' house himself and found out not just his girlfriend but his best friend was also missing. That flared him more. She intentionally went missing, and knowing her, he knows she will do it without second thought. And of course, Jimin helped her, or else it's not possible to escape from his eyes. They start passing, and Jungkook searched for Ryan like a madman, not just in his own country, but also start searching for her in foreign countries as well. Day and night, every minute, every second, he was searching for her, but she was missing like a ghost in air. With no trace, he knew she will never be able to hide like this unless it's Jimin brain behind everything, and he was trying his all means to confront both siblings to her. From threatening Jimin's stock rates to actually make a huge loss in his company, but the men have got the best brother title for a reason. Flashback ends. Renuka breathed, hearing his whole conversation. Then how do you found me? And you didn't tell me why you engaged with her at first days, if you're that desperate to find me. Or is it still again Jungkook? Wants to be angry, but his eyes, staring at her slightly glossy eyes, some gently perpetrated act so casual that she didn't even realize. Because she have a false shape of you. He hesitated for a few seconds, but encouraged himself to speak. A false shape of you with someone in which only your face is visible. Which is of course fabricated, but she still have it, and she threatened me with that ape. One put her hand in her mouth in shock as she guessed. What the? She's some psycho who's madly upset with me, a spoiled, who can't hear no and never accept it. In fact, think it as her failure. She proposed me to marry her, but I rejected. She tried to, but failed. Tried harass me and get in my but miserable failed again. Her constant failure didn't lead her to give up. In fact, she sent her father with a proposal to merge her companies, a marriage of convenience kind of. Of course, I rejected again. He took a deep breath. Don't overreact for listening what I'm going to say. I promise it's for protection. When narrows his eyes, almost glaring him. I have a point in podcast for you that you never noticed, but they still always stay around you. When you go outside, he confronted and gives him mad glare, but didn't spoke anything. I don't know how, in their presence, still she got to know about you and found out your only weakness and soft spot. When I slightly softened, and then she came to me with that fabricated tape and threatened me that she'll violate if I didn't marry her. Well, her and her all generation was the first thought came in my mind. But she have designed that video as if something happened to her, it will automatically upload on social media, and I have to protect you by each and every being. So that's why I accept her proposal. By the end of his words, all eyes around Wen also have melted. How long was the she threatening you? When was staring directly in his eyes? Probably more than 2 months to that day. He shrugs. And you didn't tell me, Jungkook. We were little together almost last whole month, and you didn't tell me someone is threatening you by my name. She grits out. What do I tell you? Some psycho woman have your fabricated tape, and she's threatening me to marry her with this. And then what would you possibly do? Just be sad, anxious, and upset for no reason when my whole PR and hacking team was working on it and trying to find how many copies it have and we need to destroy them. Then why would I made you anxious for no reason? He flickered her forehead. She hissed slightly, rubbing it as she pouted her low lip. He was the one who was always protecting her. Okay, now how you find me? When you crossed her arms, Jimin told me your hair. My eyes widened. Why would Jimin tell Jungkook about her? She twisted her hands, ready to step back inside and unleash her anger out on her brother, but Jungkook steps her. And when exactly? He came back to Korea a week ago. It hurts her heart to remember he went to Korea, and for this reason angered her even more for no particular reason. At first, Jimin broke in Jungkook's office, and behind him, Jungkook's secretary entered while panicking and horrified expressions because she knew her boss's anger, and Jimin bragged without any appointment. Jimin straight went towards Jungkook, and before he even processed what happened, he grabbed him from his collars and multiple times till he was satisfied. Jing was not prepared for this, but before he defended himself, he could froze to see Jimin in front of him, out of nowhere, and watching him like this, seething in anger, was a rare sight. Jing's extra panics, as she had already called bodyguards, but before the scene started, there he got control on his nerves and surroundings. Jungkook set his jacket, standing on his feet, and then turned towards the door. "Get out," he growled to his secretary, who flinched badly, "and don't let anyone else in," he added, wiping the edge of his lip. "I guess you already know where you got this." Jungkook just nods. He was literally searching for both the brother and sister doer for a whole month now. But when he was finally in front of Jim and he didn't let his anger take control, his brain was still working, and as much as he wanna ask, "Where is she?" He need to clean himself and confront first. Jimin chuckles in mockery. "Whoa, I didn't know I was raising a snake in name of my best friend, who literally made my sister pregnant behind my back and then got engaged with someone else. Wow, Jungkook, what a perfect man you are." He mocks, and Jungkook grit his teeth. "It's not as it looks like." Then he started explaining him everything Jimin says after hearing him calmly. "Where is she?" "Colombia, but I have a bad news for you." He pauses hesitantly and tried to read his face, but sighs heavily. "She have the baby," he blurted out, and Jungkook felt as if roof fell on his head. And every other noise in the room vanished. He was just frozen in his position, and he didn't realize when tears started dripping from his eyes. He had not even felt the warmth of a sunburn, and now all the happiness and warmth was gone before he even on it. "Oh my god, bro, you're too deep in this love thing." His voice brings him back to life. Never thinks to see you like this. The great mafia leader of Korea, none other than the Jungkook crying for a girl. He chuckled, and Jungkook gave him a hard glare, wiping his eyes. He didn't even realize when tears started dripping from his eyes. "What happened to you, man? And what you did with the Hellas and gosh, never thought the little girl I call my sister will make you men." Jungkook glared him, and he shut his mouth. Is one fine? Is she alright?" He has a hint of desperation in his voice as Jimin just stared at him for a good few minutes and then cleared his throat, gaining his attention. "Well, she's fine. She have been through a whole different emotions, including panic mood, extreme mood swings, and depression in the last few weeks. She seems physically fine, but I know she's fighting a whole battle inside her brain." Jingle nods, looking down. Few beats passed, they both have confronted each other and go their answer as well, so Jimin start moving towards door. "Jimin, thanks for everything. Can you give this to her too?" It was a soft, cuddling, plushy toy. Jimin stirred it and then he just nods in response before taking it from his hand and leaves silently. Flashback ends. When took a deep breath, Jimin only confronted Jungkook after he got to know his sister was pregnant with none other than his very own best friend's baby. She don't know how he got to know, but anyways, that saves the awkward moment. When moved her attention back towards Jungkook and found him stirring her stomach, she blinks and found him crying, but before she even processed his next action, he fell on his knees in front of her and wrapped his arm around her tightly as if afraid she will vanish if he let go and her tummy. "I'm sorry," he murmured to her tummy while crying with sobs and one hard drop, as well as she closed her eyes and heard his silent sobs for a few minutes and wasn't able to hold her own tears as well. Jungkook one breathes out, shakily. Her trembling hands glide with locks of the hairs as she looks down slightly with her teary eyes. "I'm sorry, Wan. I'm sorry for both of you. I wish I have told you everything earlier. At least if you know truth, you won't take this big step." He sobs hard with hiccups. Jungkook when again tried to speak, but he again stops her in mid-sentence. "I really won't be able to protect both of you from danger. I must be worse boyfriend and father." Maybe you're not. When again try to speak, but he shakes his head like a madman who was crying continuously. I didn't tell you everything yet. It was intentional. I intentionally made you pregnant. One hand dropped in his ears as he just looked at him with her wide eyes. What? You intentionally made me pregnant. You. And here I'm thinking thousands of negative thoughts. She gets out and he lightly chuckled with tears. Probably that's why I got this punishment. I lost my baby even before he came in this world. He was literally crying with hiccups when Mr. Chartample touched his eyes, and then made him face up to see him by cupping his cheeks. Nothing happened to our baby Jungkook. He or she is alive, safe and sound in her mommy's womb. So can you please stop crying like an elephant now and get up? He just stared her for a few seconds as if processing her words and starts crying again. You don't need to console me by saying this. I know you have. Wayne didn't let him complete his words as she bent and to stop speaking anymore, breaking the she squeezed his cheeks and lightly wiped his dirt-stained cheeks. I didn't do that, Jungkook. He or she is alive, healthy, and safe and sound here. She placed his hand on her tummy, and this time his eyes widened, realizing she's really being serious. You really didn't? When shakes her head as no. But Jimin told me you have. His eyes darkened. That I'll literally every second for the last whole week I'm going to him today. His chance ready to brag inside house, but one stops him with a hug. Well, in that way, he might take revenge from you, but he was also the one who convinced me to not take this big step. So technically, you tackled him. He bought his lip and wine on it, but instead of letting her go, he took her in a dip. Do you have any idea how much I missed you all this time? And he smiles, breaking it. He joins his forehead with hers as they both stay like this for a while. But when Flap is realizing his earlier words, you have intentionally made me pregnant. She gets out. Oh, that. You know, the woman have convinced my father as well, and he wants me to marry her too. So by being you, carrying my child, there won't be any chance he would say no to us of being together because technically you're carrying my hair and moreover intentionally made you pregnant because by that you're surely mine and no one tend or dare to lay even a single finger of their dirty finger on you because they know who you belongs to and what will happen to them. He smirks and went through another punch. Shove with a hint of or possessiveness. Aren't you, Mr. Jian? He never put his hand where you hit him, pretending hurt. Of course I am, but my dear wildcat, these kind of insulting words don't suit your prim mouth. Marines a broad in challenge, and he raises his both hands in defeat. Of course your boss is Red Sunshine. Looks down as his eyes soften, and he gains flat on his knees and pepper for the lee. All right, Hammy, making her giggles. I'm sorry, Melita's will cry that I didn't know earlier, but I love you so much, and I promise to protect you from all evil eyes. One smile is squeezing his ears, and he looks his eyes with hers. And I promise I'll protect your mother at any cost. I love you, sunshine. I love you more, my baby's daddy. She grins with her tongue. Thanks for watching. The end.